Nice to meet you everyone. Welcome to Australia Conference Economics. Today I want to discuss the consequence of employment consumption tax and trade tax as well as compare the difference that we lose in question 1 and question 2. Furthermore, I will use the labor market diagram to explain how graduative AI could affect inequality in labor market by considering two scenarios. One where graduative AI reduces inequality and one graduative AI increases inequality. Moreover, I will use demand and supply to explain how AI could affect productivity and output in economics by considering two scenarios. One where graduative AI boosts productivity and one where graduative AI leaves productivity large unchanged. Finally, I will use behavioral economics to explain why people choose unhealthy food options, even a change would be preferred. Firstly, I will discuss the impact of employment consumption tax before the consumption tax is implemented. The equilibrium price is PM and the equilibrium quantity is Q1, as well as the equilibrium point is E1. The customer surplus is the area of A, PM and E1, whilst the producers surpass the areas of PM, O and E1. After the consumption tax is implemented, the total surplus has increased and that which lose has to present. From the view of producers, the production cost will increase while the supply chain will shift to left, which is from S1 to S2 due to implementation of consumption tax. Therefore, the producer surplus will decrease due to price receipts has decreased as producers have to pay from producing the same quantity of goods. The areas of producer surplus has become triangle with green color. On the other hand, from the view of consumer, the consumer surplus will decrease too because consumer has to pay more receive the same quantity of goods. Therefore, the quantity demand has to decrease as a price increase. As a result, tax revenue will be generative, which is rectangular with red color. However, if should be noted to the tax revenue is unable to cover the loss of producer and consumer surplus because the price paid by consumer is higher than the market price, but price received by producers is lower the market price. As it impact, the market will operating ineffectively because that which lose in percent as the total surplus and social benefits has to reduce. That which lose in triangle with purple color. Secondly, I will discuss the impact of implementing import tax without considering traffic and international trade. The equilibrium point is the intersection of domestic supply curve and domestic demand curve, while the price is PD. By considering free trade, the equilibrium point is the intersection of free trade supply curve and domestic demand curve, while the price is PW. In the scenario, fortunately, producers has to compare the advantage in producing goods. However, the price will be PW and the quantity of domestic supply will be QD1, which means that domestic producers produce goods and quantity of domestic demand is QW. As the consumer will consume more goods, the difference between QW and QD1 is important without the demand excess supply. In order to protect domestic producers, government has to implement which is cause the free trade supply curve shift to the left and supply curve. The price of imports of goods will increase from PW and PT, and domestic quantity demand from the important goods will decrease from QW to QT, as well as domestic supply will increase from QD1 to QT2. Now I want to discuss about the consumer's surplus, and we will observe those the consumers surplus is smaller than before. Before the implement, the consumer surplus is triangle of A, P, W, and B. After the implement, the consumer surplus is the triangle A, P, T, and C. As a result, that wage rules will present which is triangle with purple color because domestic producers can sell these goods at a higher price and their profit is increased. After explaining question 1 and question 2, we can conclusion the consumption tax and to goods to service purchase with a country. The purpose of the implement consumption tax is general revenue from government and influence consumer behavior. On the other hand, tariff is applied to import goods and it is aimed to protect domestic production by increasing the price of imported goods. Thirdly, I will discuss how generative AI could affect inequality in labor market. In the first scenario, I will explore the generative AI reduce inequality. AI tools can make low-skilled workers more productive by freeing up them to focus on more complex, creative, and higher-value work. AI tools also can provide more opportunity from sectors that lost the human capitals by scaling up the workforce. Therefore, demand curve of labor will shift to Y, as well as wage disparity across different skill levels will reduce. The quality of labor will increase from Q1 to Q2, whilst the wage of lower skilled workers will increase, although the overall wage level does not change. In the second scenario, I will explore how the generative AI increases inequality. From the view of high-skilled workers, the labor demand curve will shift to Y because they can leverage AI tools to enhance their productivities. On the other hand, labor supply curve will remain unchanged because high-skill requirement to use AI effort limited the number of the workers to enter in the roles. As a result, wage level and quality of labor will increase. From the view of the low-skilled workers, the labor demand curve will reduce because all AI tools replace routine and low-skilled tasks. On the flip side, labor supply curve will increase because more workers lose their jobs and they are faced to compete to remaining low-skilled roles. As an impact, wage and quality of labor will decrease. Therefore, generative AI will increase inequality by creating a labor market. Wage and employment from high-skilled workers will increase while their wage on. Additionally, I will explore how generative AI could affect productivities and output in the economy. In the first scenario, I will explore how generative AI boosts productivities. Generative AI could increase the overall manufacturing efficiencies by reducing the input usage and streamlining the workflow. Therefore, short-run AGA supply curve will shift to Y from AS1 to AS2. On the other hand, firms will invest generative tools and boost productivities while they can shift to gauge demand to Y from AD1 to AD2. As an impact, real GDP will increase from Y1 to Y2, while price level will decrease slightly from P1 to P2. The change in price level depends on how much of the increased productivity translate into lower costs and price from consumers. However, long-run AGA supply curve will shift to Y from LRAS1 to LRAS2. In the second scenario, I will explore how generative AI leaves productivity largest unchanged. If AI replaces jobs faster than workers can be retrained, there may be a pot of schedulation while displaced workers remain unemployed. This will be limited positive effort of AI on productivity because human capital is not fully utilized. Therefore, short-run and long-run AGA supplies as well as AGA demand will remain unchanged as the impact, price level, and real GDP will not be changed because AI alter the productivity level of the economy. Lastly, I will explain how I use behavioral economics to understand why people choose unhealthy food options, even if a change will be preferred. Behavioral economics provides valuable insight into why people often make irrational choices, even while they recognize that a change will be beneficial. One of the important concepts is the stage base, indicate the people's tendency to stay with a current situation or habit. Even while the better alternatives are all available, the base makes productivity challenge from the individual change their eating habit. Furthermore, farming efforts terms like are using describe unhealthy while they can create positive image that can be over wide health concepts. Therefore, government and firms should be understand behavioral economic practice to design more efforts to irrational to help people to make healthy food choice. Thank you for listening.